On today's video, I'm going to answer your questions. A couple of weeks ago, I put a post on YouTube asking if you guys had any questions for me. So today's video, I'm going to answer them questions as honest as I can, and hopefully it'll help you guys on your aquascaping journey. Enjoy. Hello, Geordie Scaper here, and I'm here to share my years of experience within the aquascaping hobby to hopefully help you guys with your tanks at home. So I'm just going to go through these questions one by one, starting with BM3 Aquatic. That's Beth. Beth has been a long time follower on my YouTube channel, so thank you very much, Beth. So Beth asks, Mark, how do you compare your level of confidence now as opposed to when you started, and what do you attribute that to? Bit of a mouthful that, attribute to. So as far as confidence goes, I'm confident in my aquascaping abilities and looking after aquariums, growing plants, looking after the fish. One thing I do struggle with confidence-wise is this. Being a YouTuber, sometimes I second guess myself. I think, am I good enough? I'm worried about the old imposter syndrome. So the confidence with that isn't great, but I do try my best and I do enjoy it. Once I settle and I do a video, edit a video, I think, yeah, it's okay. But I'm always second guessing myself when I'm thinking about content and taking the channel further. So I have been aquascaping for a good number of years now, and it's practice and I really enjoy it. I like researching as well, so I'm always researching aquascaping, watching my favourite aquascapers over the years, and that's just helped. So aquascaping, looking after the aquariums, the fish, etc. Yep, I am fairly confident with that, but it's the other side of things, the social media and particularly YouTube. As much as I enjoy it, I do struggle at times with self-confidence and second guessing myself. So yeah, that's being honest. So thanks for that question, Beth. Next question is from Mel0116. So Mel, hi there. Hi Mark, if you could do a collaboration workshop with any aquascaper, past or present, who would that person be and why? I think that's a fairly easy question to answer because Takashi Amano, the late great Takashi Amano, the father, the legend of aquascaping. Since discovering Takashi Amano all those years ago, I'm still fascinated by his work. I love watching his videos, and if ever I was to do a collaboration with anyone, it would definitely be Takashi Amano. But I have been lucky enough to collaborate with some awesome aquascapers over the years, and I'm truly grateful for that. So onwards and upwards with that, hopefully. But thanks for that question. So the next question, this one's a bit more detailed, and this is from Ed Grewscape. So yeah, that's all I've got here as Ed Grewscape. I hope I've said that right. And Ed Grew asks, hi. How do you strike the balance between high control and natural expression in a densely planted 70 litre CO2 injected aquascape without tipping it into over-engineering or nutrient stress, especially when working with both corporate species in epiphytes under elevated lighting? Thanks and cheers from Egrew. Striking the perfect balance. In short, I don't. I think it's always a challenge, and with nature, there's no such thing as perfection. So all I do, I set an aquarium the best of my abilities, but I think getting the balance right is using good quality equipment, heavily planted from the start. So the more heavily planted, the quicker the growth, taking them excess nutrients, which is particularly important in the early stages when ammonia levels, nitrate, nitrite levels can be quite high. So plant heavily, using good quality equipment, over filter, so I use good heavy filtration on these aquascapes, so you've got good circulation, good water flow. And with the lighting, I like to have lights that can be controlled. So in the early stages, I like to start at a lower level. So say for example, we'll start at 40%, and over the weeks and months, we'll increase that bit by bit. So increase by 5%, 10% over time. If the tank's been heavily disturbed, like a real heavy trim, a big water change, I lower the light levels again and start again. And with doing that, control the light levels, you control everything bit by bit. So slight increases, slight decreases will help keep the perfect balance, if there's such thing as perfect, as I was saying earlier. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention CO2, same with CO2. If you make any changes, slight adjustment, leave it for an hour or so, come back and check. Don't keep tweaking and mounting because it needs time to settle and level out. So to be on the safe side, slowly increase so it's just the right amount. Keep an eye on your CO2 levels with the likes of a drop checker. And if you need to increase that, decrease that, do that slightly. Unless it's dangerously high, just switch it off and do a water change. In a nutshell, anything you have to change within your aquarium, whether that's lighting, CO2, filtration, do it gradually. Gradual increases, gradual decreases, and that'll help with the overall balance of everything. I hope that helps. Okay, this question's from another long time supporter of my channel, Theo. Hi Theo, he's been following me for years, so do appreciate that. Theo asks, hi Mark, are you going to do a tank for contest in the future? I haven't really thought about it. What I tend to do, if any of my tanks are doing particularly well and I'm really impressed by it myself, I'll consider doing a competition, mainly IAPLC, which is the International Aquatic Plant Layout Contest. I've only entered once. I think I come about, actually I'll tell you. So out of over 2,000 entrants, I come 472. I'll overlay that entry. That skate was doing particularly well at the time. I thought I looked well, so I thought I'd get a nice final photo and enter that. Not really expecting much, but yeah, I done well, so happy with that. As far as the future goes, I would like to enter. And the main reason for that is so we can have more UK entrants. The more entrants from a country, obviously the better it is for that country and the good of the overall aquascaping scene. So yeah, maybe it's next year. Keep an eye out for you, hopefully. See how the scapes do, and I might even try and keep the tank aside just to focus on IAPLC. We'll see. Generally though, I'm not really a competition scaper, but that's not the reason I would enter. As I was saying earlier, it's to get more representatives from the UK. Go UK. Aquarium Delirium. What a cool name. Aquarium Delirium. Hi there. And the question is, if you had to choose one tool you couldn't live without, what is it? Right. Thinking about the tools, there's one tool that I go to all the time and I've used the same pair for years, and that's double curve shears. I'll see if I can get them. Yeah, so this is double curve shears, and I just think they're really good in a bunch of scenarios. Trimming stem plants, trimming carpet plants. That is my go-to tool of choice, and I've had these same ones for years. Since I first got to Seachem and sent us these, so going on 5 years. These are from that Aquavitro range. And yeah, that's the one tool I probably couldn't do without. Double curve shears. This question's from Dan. I think it's Dan Truthheart. Dan Truthheart? Dan Truthheart? 9146, I hope that's right. And Dan asks, how do you address water parameters such as pH and hardness when using tap water? Thanks for the great videos. Can't imagine the amount of time that takes. Oh, that's really nice of you. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying earlier in the video, I do struggle. So reading compliments like that really makes me day and gives us that like, to keep going for it. So thanks Dan, appreciate that nice comment. Water parameters. I said I'll be totally honest, and I wouldn't have to be. I'm not one for water testing as much as I should. And I know that's wrong. And I'd highly advise you guys to test your water regular. I think just over the years, I've got to know my tanks. I can kind of like know if there's an issue going on. And I play it like that. Don't get us wrong, in the early stages, I do test the water, especially if I'm using nutrient-rich soils, which can leach ammonia, such as ADA soils, which I've used in the past. I will water test, and there's some good kits out there. Seachem do some good test kits, and you can test all those parameters as you're asking. So pH, ammonia levels. So what you can actually do is test your tap water. So you can test the water again once it's in your tank and you've added your additives such as prime to remove the chlorines, chloramines, etc. So Dan, yeah, if you want to test your water, there's a range of kits out there. Just look for the good quality ones. The cheap ones aren't worth bothering with, so it's worth paying the money for a good quality water testing kit. but generally I try and use plants, fish that will be okay in the water conditions that I've got, rather than adding chemicals and having to mess with the water too much, if that makes sense. So yeah, look for hardier species plants which can adapt well to harder waters. Or with your livestock, just check. So whenever you're buying shrimp, fish, make sure they're suitable for your water conditions, so you're not having to mess with the water all the time. That's how I would do things. I compare it like, do you know, if you've got a garden and you buy plants to suit your soil, rather than try and change the soil to a certain plant, I kind of say work with what you got better. That's just my opinion though, so you're not messing. So yeah, if you've got acidic soil, don't go and buy a load of plants that don't like acidic soil in the garden. So yeah, that's the way I look at things. This is a straightforward question asked by Bright Updates. Which camera are you using now? I'm not using a camera. I am busy saving up for one, but at the minute I'm just using a mobile phone. So this is an old phone. The one I'm using is a Samsung 23 Ultra. So it's quite a few years old now, but I do use a good quality external mic. I use good lighting, which really does help. So I've got a key light here, I've got a background light, like a filler light. I've got different colour lights in the background, so all that to try and make your video look more professional. So I film mainly, not all the time to get the best quality, I film in 4K at 24 frames per second, just on the auto settings at the moment, but having good lighting makes a mad world of difference. So yeah, that's the camera or camera phone I'm using. The mic I'm using is the DJI Mic Mini. I've just bought this is the first time I've used them, and you let me know, what do you think of the sound quality? So yeah, that's what I'm using. The next question is from No Noodles 13. Again, that's a cool name, No Noodles. Hello there, Noah, that's how it is, Noah. And Noah asks, what's your favourite aquascape you've ever done or ever made? There's probably two. There's one I done a couple of years ago, which was a 90 centimetre with lots of immersed Amazon swords. Absolutely loved that one. It had some huge pieces of wood, and I'll overlaid footage of that one, but that was a 90 centimetre setup with talawa wood, serious stone, when I say swords and loads of epiphytes like trident fern and bulbitis. Actually, I don't think it was trident fern, just bulbitis, anubias, all that sort of thing. I love that setup. But the one that's most special to me, and the one I love, is probably one of the first serious aquascapes I ever done back in 2009, and that was a Iwagumi style without CO2 injection, 5 stones, serious stone, and 1 carpeting plant, which was at the time Eleocharis parvula. Yeah, that's a special one to me, so love that one. But I did pick 2. Stefan00123, Stefan asks, hi, what is your favourite layout? Iwagumi, forest, diorama, nature style, and hope to see you in November at Vivarium. Have a great day. So Vivarium is a show which is held in the Netherlands, and it'll be the end of this year. That's what Stefan's talking about there. So I'm not sure if I'm going, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. But hopefully I will see you there. So as far as my favourite layout goes, just in general, nature aquarium style, but Iwagumi, as I said in a previous question, has got a special place in my heart because it's the first aquascapes I really got into. I couldn't keep my eyes off Iwagumi style, and it was just something drew us to Iwagumi style, obviously with Takashi Amano as well. And I've always liked Japanese Zen style gardens. So the Japanese Zen gardens are the dry hardscaped, so huge stones with the rake gravel. Those are Zen type gardens. So I would have to say Iwagumi just edges it for us, but in general I love nature aquarium style. Diorama, as much as I appreciate it, it's not really for me, but yeah, as I say, I really do appreciate that work that goes into them. They'll look amazing. So for those who don't know, diorama is creating a landscape in an underwater environment. So it could be a mountainscape. I know Iwagumi is a bit like that. but it's more realistic. You'll find diorama styles have a massive, huge sense of depth. So as you look and you'll see like what appear to be tree trunks in front of the aquarium, and the wood gets thinner and thinner as you go to the back. So it looks like you're looking into a forest. So with that sense of depth, which is amazing. And that's what you'll see in diorama style aquariums. And like I was saying, as much as I appreciate it, I do prefer the more natural nature aquarium style. We haven't covered Dutch style. Dutch isn't really for me. And again, I do really appreciate it. The colours and the groups of plants look amazing, but I miss the hardscape. Probably the best part of aquascaping for me is hardscaping. So using the wood and stone, trying to make it look as natural as possible. So without that, I'm really missing the enjoyment of the hobby. I've only ever tried one Dutch inspired scape and I got bored. It wasn't really for me. So AY Aquariums asks, I'm scaping a 5-foot aquarium for angelfish. If you were scaping this, what type of layout would you go for? And that's Alan, AY Aquariums. So it's a good question. And as it happens, I'll be doing an aquarium which is about 3.5 foot. And what I would recommend and what I'm going to do for my scape like that is have an Amazon look. So go for some swords in the background. You've got lots of different Echinodorus species you can choose from. And what I would do is buy a variety, plant them in groups and let them battle it out. See who grows where, who grows the tallest, who. You'd think I was talking about a person. See which sword plant grows the most and just let them battle it out for a nice natural look. They can obviously add other plants as well. So if you want to attach some epiphytes like trident fern, bulbitis, that sort of thing. Between your Echinodorus species, your sword plants, you can add some grass blade-like plants or plants like Cryptocoryne balansae, and that'll just grow in between to give it a bit texture, layer, different look. That's the option I would go for. Moss on the wood, but be aware moss is higher maintenance, so you might want to shy away from that. But the good thing about that type of aquarium, if you're using lots of swords, lots of epiphytes, it is a bit easier to maintain because you're not using stem plants. Speaking of stem plants, I'm doing a video soon which is all about stem plants, which are gorgeous plants, but there is certain things to be aware of, and that's what that video is going to be about, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, Alan, that's the type of scape I would go for. Sword plants, and that gives it that nice jungle look. And Amazon swords, where angelfish come from, is the Amazon, so it's a good mix as well. Fish to go with the angelfish, the common popular type, which are gorgeous, is Cordon tetras and rummy-nose tetras, so they'll be perfect for a 5 foot, particularly the rummy-nose. So a nice tight school of rummy-nose tetra with the angelfish of choice. Personally, the angelfish I would go for is the more natural looking ones, one with black, dark brown stripes with a silver grey body. That looks a lot more natural in my opinion. So yeah, so that's the type of look I would go. Amazon swords, a nice jungle look with plenty space in the foreground as well for the fish to swim. So you can have it nice and dense at the back, bit of a mid-ground, but plenty open space at the front so the fish have got loads of room to swim. And if you choose to use the school of tetras, like the rummy-nose, lots of room for them as well. It'll be a gorgeous setup. I can visualize that. I think it'll be gorgeous in a 5 foot. So good luck with that one. Hope you get on well with it. So next question is from another long-term subscriber, Mr. G, Ivan G. So hi there. Thanks again for your support. And Mr. G asks, what's the next big thing or upcoming trend in the aquascaping world? I don't know if it's the next big thing, but I think it's trendy at the moment. It's still trending, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's your likes of your vivarium setups, terrarium setups. They're beautiful, and they seem to be getting more and more popular. A good friend of mine, 80 Myers, you might want to check out 80. 80 does some gorgeous ones. He's got some beautiful vivarium, terrarium type setups in his home. I'll ask him if I can borrow some of his photographs and overlay them for you. So hopefully I can get some footage to show you his beautiful aquariums, and you can give him a follow on Instagram. But I see that as really popular, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Yeah, so it's not the next big thing, but it is a big thing that's going to get bigger in my opinion. So last but certainly not least, I've got a question from Benjamin. Tidy Puds. I'm not sure that's his name here on YouTube, but hello Benjamin. Benjamin asks, have you any experience of using Centurion wood? Probably has other marketing names too, which most woods do. I've got a few lumps of it and plan to use in a new setup, but I've heard that can cause water quality issues, fish deaths. I've heard Millennium wood can do the same as well. Right, I have no experience of Centurion wood. I have actually seen in person Millennium wood leaching out some horrible nasty stuff, and the water's literally went petrol black. It's like dark black. Gets a lot of fungus on it as well. As far as fish deaths go, I've never witnessed that and I don't know about that. But this particular tank, with some patience and perseverance, water changes, it did balance out eventually. But personally, I would never use it. That's a Millennium wood. Centurion wood, I'm thinking if you're weary about it, don't bother. Or you could just do a dark start with it if you're a bit weary. You could just hardscape your tank as normal, no plants at all, run the filter, no lights, cover it and just let it run for a few weeks or months, whatever it takes, if it is leaching any harmful substances or bacteria, or the colour, if it's leaching loads of dark, black, horrible nasties, you can keep an eye on that without affecting any plants or livestock. So maybe that's the way to go before you add your plants or your livestock. And when it comes to doing that, if everything's okay, just empty the tank again and plant, refill and run it as normal with the lights, etc. You could try that. Dark start method could be the way forward with that, or just not use it at all and get some other wood if you're a bit weary of that. Okay, so that's the first time I've done that, answered your questions, and I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully I've answered the questions so you understand what's going on. Or you might be left thinking, didn't really answer that. But rather than just saying yes, no, quick, blunt answers, I try to be in-depth and honest as possible with those answers. Thank you guys for sending those questions, some great questions there. And like I say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So probably do another one in a few months' time. If you enjoyed this content and you want to find out more, you want to learn a bit more about aquascaping, I'll leave a link at the end of the video to a playlist you might find interesting, and also be a link in the video description. Again, thank you so much for watching. Till the next video guys, see you later.